to our final conversation for today. We're going to be focusing on Scout Week 2015. And joining us for this conversation, we have National Program Executive Natalie Palma. We also have Queen Scout and National Scout Commissioner Kesselyn Lizama. And we have a visitor from Mexico, Rover Scout Christina Bates. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Now, let's start off by just defining some of these things so that there's some clarity. Obviously, within the ranks of scouting, there are different levels. And so let's start off, Kesselyn, perhaps, by talking about Queen Scout and how you gained that honor.
Okay, so the Queen Scout is the highest youth award in Belize, and it's also very similar to that of the Commonwealth. So the highest award that you could achieve is that of the Queen Scout, and it has certain requirements that you deal with relationship with others, dealing with the environment, relationship with dealing with the environment as well, the environmental side of it. You have where there's a community aspect of it, community service and giving back. So you complete these 5 areas. You have various activities that you could do, and then when you've completed that, you have your interview with the National Scout Executive. You go through the entire committee that you meet with, and once you've met all those requirements, then you're granted your Queen Scout award.
Natalie, let's talk a little bit about bestowing that honor actually on Kesselyn.
Well, it was definitely a pleasure to have Kesselyn receive the Queen's Scout. I have known Kesselyn for some years, way back in Ho Redeemer days with Miss Square. She started out with Miss Square, and I could see her coming up, and I could look at her and I could see she'll be a good leader, she'll be a good scout, and she'll eventually be one of our top leaders in our association. Anytime there is opportunities to send her out to get training, I'm always the first one to say that she's one of the recipients that definitely would deserve it. She has shown so many different skills and qualities in her that I think she more than deserves it in a sense. And since she has gotten the Queen Scout, she has been working even harder. I mean, it's years and years she's been working for the Queen Scout. It's not an easy task. There's a lot of requirements that they need to do, and it takes time. And like I said, she well deserved it, and it was no guessing about awarding her the Queen Scout. So here she is, and like I said, it's the beginning of her working time now, because she's giving back to scouting all the times that she had worked for.
Now, Kesselyn is a great example of some of the scouts who have come through the organization, some who start and just never want to leave. And it is an indicator as to once you have allowed this type of lifestyle to become a part of you, that you find it difficult to let go. Let's talk about why it's so important to remain a scout, or even continue the same values that you were taught as a child. And we also have visiting from Mexico, Christina, as well. So each one of you can share your perspective on that.
Well, in Mexico, scouting life is a little bit different, but it has the same values. And it's really important to continue it, because you become a better person. You see the life in a different way. And I think one of the best things that scouting life teaches you is that you have to be good, and you have to respect and be careful with the things that's in person that around you. So I think that people that once get into the scouting life, even they go away, that part of you never changes. And you can see a person after years, and you know that he was a scout. So I think that it is important to the kids that they're young right now, that become a part of it, because it changes your life. It changes your lifestyle, and even if you are grown up, you can join us, and there is not a top age. And I think that that gives you really good experiences that you're going to remember the whole life.
I definitely have to agree with what she said about, you know, you'll know that person was a scout, because we have, you know, a saying that we say, once a scout, always a scout. And if you keep that in mind, all the values that you learn, the different life skills that you learn, they're definitely, you know, usable outside of scouting. And by staying, I know my reason for staying is that I'm hoping that I could help others, you know, gain that same experience, that same life-changing activity to help them be a better person. So whatever career they decide to do afterwards, they'll take those skills with them, they'll be able to use it. And, you know, in all, the entire World Movement motto is to create a better world. And so that's really what we're trying to do.
Now, I want to ask a question. Let me see how I can do this sensitively. Because very often scouting was still associated with young men.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yet, as young women, you've stayed the course. Why, as young women, has there been such a bond created between you and scouting in particular?
I think first, I think it would have to be kind of, you know, breaking everybody's expectations. You know, that's a boy thing for you to do. So that's one little push to keep you going and staying in longer. But I guess it deals a lot with, you know, maybe developmental wise too, what's attractive about the program. And maybe, you know, now we're trying to work towards curtailing all of that, so it's a little bit more attractive to the boys with the changing time and everything. But I know for me, it's definitely, you know, I could do it. So.
Yes. And I think also that the people think that scouting is just play and, you know, you'll stay there the Saturday. But it's even more, because in a scout you have to work, you know, you have to do projects, you have to think about the future and about the life that you want to have. So I think that's important, and I think, well, for me, that is the principle, the thing that I like and I'm proud of the scouting life, because you not only go there and play, you know, you work with them and you work with your community and with the people that are around you, you know, and I think I like that.
Just to add, Keslin mentioned once a scout, always a scout. I also add that scouting is for life. I could remember as a Cub Scout when I joined, and the whole program is based on the values and the promise and the law that we have. And I used to remember as a young person trying to live by the Scout promise and Scout law. You know, at home, at school, and everything that we do. And up to this day, I still remember that, and I could remember the teachings and the things that I learned, and how it had affected me even as an adult up to this day. I mean, and I could look back and I could say it's because of scouting. You know, so it's like I said, scouting is for life.
Now, what we've definitely seen, even over the years that the Scout Association has been coming here, and I'm sure you're very proud of it, Naftali, is that you are having more and more young people actively involved. I remember when it was one of the concerns brought out very early on, a couple of years back, that they reach teenage years and of course become distracted with other things and aren't as involved. So let's talk about the progression of the Scouts Association of Belize up to this point.
Okay, like you did mention, we had noticed a trend that once the Scouts they reach high school, that was the age that most of them would leave. They would stay in high school for a year or two, and then you'd see them come back now and again after they settle in high school. And the policy of the region and the World Scouting right now is for us to get more young people involved. All our committees, all our programs that we have, we are being asked to get more young people involved, because scouting is for young people. It is that is the first thing. Scouting is for young people. It's a young people program. It's not only a boys program or a girl program. It's for young people overall. The training, the program, everything, it deals with the development of the youth. And so we have adopted some of the policies and tried to get in more young people. Keslin was one of the first one that we had on the national committee as the National Scout Commissioner. So she and we have gotten other young people involved as well. You probably remember Fernando. He's also a Queen Scout. He has the Venture Scout commissioner. So Fernando deals with the older youths, Kesslin deals with the one in between, and we also have a Cub Scout commissioner as well.
And you have actually adopted this very same pattern for this year's planning for Scout Week, as you told us before we came on air. All right?
Yes.
So this year you put it all in the young people's hands.
Yes.
Threw it on you, Kesslin.
No, it was sometime back in October, November. Me and Kesslin were talking, and she's saying that I tried on her, but she volunteered evenly. I mean, so she said, we think we could take care of the. First of all, she did a unit council course. Again, it's under my responsibilities. And so when she said she wanted to help me the unit course, I said, no problem, Kesslin. And they did a good course. I mean, I was in Salvador on a training program, and so I wasn't here to help them unit course I training, and it went well. And now we have Scout Week, and she's also the organizer for Scout Week again. So she has been very busy, and she's been doing a very good job, and I always commend her upon it.
So let's hear what you have in store for 2015.
Okay, so it follows a pretty similar guidelines to other years, but we're hoping that different activities we carry out will be very different. Starting off Scout Week, yesterday we had the opening of Scout Week, where we invite the groups to go to their different media houses in whatever district they are to promote Scout Week and promote the scouting message. Then today is National Uniform Awareness Day, so we're encouraging all the scouts to wear their uniforms to work, wear their uniforms to school, and while they're there, they'll discuss with their classmates or co-workers, the benefits of scouting and why they first joined. So just kind of share stories. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, we have Troop Night, where we're saying invite a friend to scouting. So you're going to invite a non-scouting friend to a campfire activity or to a meeting so that they could kind of get the idea of how things are run in scouting. On Thursday, we've got Community Service Day, where we're asking the groups to go out to their different organizations in their community, either a hospital, a children's home, attend a school reading program, so they could kind of give back to the community. Community service is very important in scouting. It's one of the things that we focus on, duty to others, so we're encouraging them to give back to their communities. On Friday, we've got District Night, where we're asking the districts to get together, their entire committee, to run a campfire activity or anything that they choose to do, just to kind of bring them together and show closeness and create those bonds that they might not have with their close units. And then on Saturday, we've got National Service Day, which is one of the big days because we're running what we call a Messengers of Peace project. It's called Scouting for Food. So we've sent the message out earlier, and what they're doing is that we ask them to go in their communities, collect food items, whatever. Choose your organization that you wish to give back to, whether it's a feeding program at a particular school or to a parish or anywhere, just to give back. And then by doing that, we're able to say to the world organization, hey, this is what Belize did to give back. This is Belize's service. And what they do, they log these hours into this one big system. And so eventually, we'll see that number for Belize going up, and Belize is logging, 300,000 service hours for the year and all of that. So we're hoping to become a part of this really big project. It's a very young initiative, but it's been very helpful for other regions and for other countries as well. And to close off Scout Week on Sunday, we've got our mass and parade. So.
And Christina, what brought you roving to Belize?
Well, in Mexico, we do kind of the same thing with the community service and the projects. So in the area that I am right now, the I'm a Rover Scout, we have to make 4 projects in the 4 years that we are there. So right now I was making a project about trips. So we did an exchange with the Scouts of Belize because years ago we came and we did friendships with them. So my purpose of the project was to the Scouts of Mexico, more than me, know them and know the differences and the things that are similar between the scouting life here and there in Mexico. So several Scouts from Mexico came here, and Scouts of Belize hosted them at their houses, and that's the way that they could see the way that they live and how do they, get along with their families or get along with their friends. We did some activities. We went to an archaeological site. We went to San Antonich. We did community service as well. We painted on a school. We did activities in some districts here. And so I think it was a great experience for us to get to know them, and we're looking forward to go to Mexico and do an exchange too.
Where in Mexico are you taking the Scouts?
I live in Yucatan, in Merida. It's near to here.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, of course, this is a part of the experience of Scouting that a lot of people don't necessarily know, which is the interaction with Scouts from all over the world.
Yes.
How important is that in terms of your unique Scouting experience?
Well, I have been in some international camps. I've been on a jamboree and a camporee, and that's important not just for it to get know other countries, because in that way you get know other cultures and the way that they live in other countries, lives the Scouting life. Because although the Scouts have the same values in all the world, the people live it in a different way, you know, in their own way. So, and it will give you friendships that during your whole life, really. And it's good because we have friendships here in Belize, and that we know that for almost a decade, and that's how we do this exchange. So I think that gives you experiences that your life, that you're gonna remember that your whole life.
I think what Christina needs to add on also is the project in itself is part of our requirements for her awards as well. Just like how Kesselyn had to do her Venture Scout and then her Queen Scout, this is what she's working on, and she's much younger, so you know she's working towards getting these awards and these requirements done for her award.
It's a great reward for the work that you put in either way, that you're able to get your badges and your awards and whatnot. But along the way, all these experiences, it's not just individuals who benefit, it's your entire Scout team.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about how people can support the Scout Association of Belize. Are we still looking for volunteers?
Yes.
We still need William as a troop leader. He would be a fantastic troop leader. Go ahead.
So we always need volunteers. Volunteers are always welcome. We're not saying that you have to be there 24/7, but you know, every free time that you have, if you hear of an activity coming out, you could come. You know, if it's to help for a day, it's definitely needed. We've got a lot of younger Scouts, and we need that supervision. And so, just to be there to kind of keep them in line, and okay, you know, making sure that they're whatever they have, their needs are being met for that particular activity. Or if you decide that you want to be, you know, troop leader, assistant troop leader, that's completely, you know, we're open to that as well. We have trainings that you could do so that you become more familiar with the program, so you won't feel, you know, completely lost. So volunteers are definitely welcome at all ages.
What is the theme for this year, and why is that a rallying point for Scouting?
So the theme is a better world through the spirit of Scouting. And the reason why we say through the spirit of Scouting is that we know that Scouting sets these different values for the individuals that are in it. We're talking about, you know, life skills that will take you, you know, far and beyond. And we're hoping that we could use our way of, you know, non-formal education to kind of reach out to everyone else and help them to see that, you know, become proactive in their communities, see that there are things that can be changed, things that can be altered, and that you know, a ordinary person can do it, and you don't have to be, you know, someone of, you know, of a status or anything to do it. You could do it. And so it's just kind of to pull everyone in and, you know, share the spirit that we share with each other as a family, as a Scouting family. We're trying to share that with you.
Well, we wish you all the best with everything that you're doing for this Scout Week. And Christina, we hope that you enjoy your stay in Belize, and that you return, and also Belizeans get to visit Merida.
Yes, part of the exchange program is that the Venture Scouts that they are working with and have been sharing the time with, they are planning to go up to Merida for the same type of reaction.
Any final words?
Well, we want to wish all our scouts out there a happy Scout Week, and again, I will have to mention again about the volunteer thing. We need the young people especially to get involved as young leaders. The program is here to develop you, so we hope that we can get some more leaders. And normally around this time, we try to promote Scouting as much as possible so that we can get people to help us in our tasks ahead of us.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and a happy Scout Week to you all and the rest of the Scouts in Belize and Mexico.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take our final break, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up, so stay tuned.